Greetings. Elder Blacklight here. What bothers me about this case right here is that the mayor must know what's going on, what's really happening. They're accusing Eric Holder by hearsay by all those people who was at that mall, Marathon Strip Mall. All of them is shady. Now, once anyone examined that video that TMZ first put out, you can see that it's been tampered with. You can see that the video has been tampered with and it's been doctored up. You can't really identify the shooter. Matter of fact, superimposement is all over that video. Figures turn into cartoon characters. And the way that video is set up, you can see that it was a stage production, or either a precise, timely hit. So, what made him say Eric Holder did it? And then everyone is going on what Big U say. He never did say that Eric Holder did it. He said someone who don't belong in the neighborhood. That don't make sense if they showed that Eric Holder and Nipsey hung around each other. They say he was a snitch. There's no evidence of that, except hearsay. They don't have it at this particular point in time. They didn't have the gun. They didn't have no DNA evidence. Didn't have no business even going to court. Because by the video that they showed us, that wouldn't have even been permitted in court. After they caught him, he still didn't say nothing about we got the gun with his handprints on it, the bullets matched up, and nothing. Like they do other cases. When everybody know that on the news, on the real news, that if they got a suspect, everything match up. It's enough evidence for them to go to court. You can't tell on the video who was driving, clearly who was driving the getaway car. You can't tell clearly who the shooter was. Hell, you can't even tell clearly if that was Nipsey or not. It could have been a lookalike. So, I'm with that guy, Coffee and Kush. Yeah, let it go to trial, but public opinion, half of the, and y'all got people calling some, I'm a gang member, and this, don't nobody know that. I'm a rolling 60s and we don't roll like that. You know, how do I know who you is, man? You could be a agent or a plant. Then everybody called and say, I believe that Eric Holder did it. Check this out.
Los Angeles, where police are giving an update on the investigation into the death of rapper Nipsey Hussle. Let's listen.
In many measures, the safest city in America, but a place still, as I've always said, where one death is one too many. Nipsey Hussle was an artist who touched our city and the lives far beyond the City of Angels throughout this country and this world. He was somebody who was a gifted and brilliant artist, an entrepreneur who found global success, was working closely with this city to help save lives and transform lives even as he was doing that for himself. He was a tireless advocate for the young people of this city and of this world, to lift them up with the possibility of not being imprisoned by where you come from or past mistakes, but the possibility of what comes in the future. And his impact on our city was deep. You'll hear that from Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson in a moment. My own office was able to work with him on a number of initiatives to bring more African Americans in the tech industry, to stand up businesses for people who have been involved with the criminal justice system. And the news that we have to share this morning is that the hardworking men of the Los Angeles Police Department, together with the strong relationships we have within the community, have identified the person believed to be responsible for this devastating crime. He is 29-year-old Eric Holder. And in just a few moments, we'll hear from Chief Moore. He'll share some details about that and ask for the public's help in bringing justice to Nipsey's family. And if anyone out there has information about this individual or this crime, we urge you to call L.A.P.D's South Bureau homicide at 213-485-4341. Nipsey's death has sent shockwaves across the city and across this globe. But we're also here for all Angelenos whose lives have been cut short as well.
Now, all they had was a name, but they sure didn't have no clear evidence that he was the shooter. Most people say a person of interest. You know, most cops, especially here in Detroit, they'll say we have a person of interest until they get all the evidence, you know, that indicates, you know, it's preponderance of evidence, you know, without a reasonable doubt that he's a suspect now. Not a person of interest, but now a suspect. But this skipped all this right here is skipping all that. And now they got the young man, Eric Holder, in jail. You can tell he's scared. People trying to say he's crazy, but the boy's scared. And that TMZ shot of Eric Holder being captured and put in the car, that don't even look like him. Look like a lookalike to me. But I'm trying to illustrate to y'all, you know, that y'all don't want to say it's a conspiracy. But if you look at that TMZ video, it looked like a conspiracy. All that was plotted out behind closed doors. They pointed him out, then they executed him, and then they manipulated the crime scene, they manipulated the video, and then they just threw a name out there, Eric Holder. and everyone is buying into that. Now, Cab Gibbs, he said, bring him to trial. I agree with that. I mean, free, because they don't really have no evidence. But this is a plot to cause a turbulence in L.A. The only thing I got upset with Cab Gibbs about was when he made the statement that the NOI wasn't no real Muslims and the foreign-born Muslims was real. He indicated that those Muslims, Arab-looking, or not Arab, but Middle Eastern, so-called Middle Eastern, is real, and they over here in a country that's at war with Islam. They tell you every day they're at war with Islam. That don't sound right, man. That don't sound right. But if you're gonna get justice, and it's time, and I don't see why guys trying to stick up for the government anyway. Man, you better quit trying to stick up for these crooks, man. We're living in an unlawful country that just gang busted their way, bogarted their way into controlling this country. And they got our black people believing that this country is a righteous country, a country of fairness. And you can look at the history and tell that that's the opposite. Something ain't right, man. I don't see how people could believe this right here. All this theatrics, fiasco. It's black light.